Cool.
Why did you come down to Mission to intern? Like, why did you want to do that? What's the process there?
Well, I think Andy has a lot to teach me. I think he's got a lot of wisdom and life experience that maybe he doesn't even realize.
Hey, good morning. Well, it's morning for us. I don't know what time you're listening to this. It doesn't matter. Whenever you want. But welcome to Faith Over Breakfast. My name's Andy Littleton. I'm with a church called Mission Church. I'm with my buddy Eric Seepin from the Village. And we've got here a friend of ours, Matthew. If you wanna, talk to him the way you will someday when he runs things. So anyway, we're at XO Coffee.
We're at XO Coffee.
It's the monsoon season in Tucson, so I'm loving life, and we're just glad that we get to hang out here. And the premise of this podcast is two pastors get breakfast and they talk, and
right.
We've got an intern this time, so that's what it is. Hope you enjoy
the
conversation.
Wait, we gotta have some preview here because Dave Ramsey came up.
Oh, Dave Ramsey came up.
There's a little Dave Ramsey debate.
I don't understand what we're doing right now.
We're introing. This is going to go back around to the front.
Let's go to the front.
And this is a horrible intro, but maybe it's good.
That's fine.
Oh, okay.
It's goofy.
All right.
They're going to hear all
Dave
this
Ramsey comes
and
up.
I just want to make
Hillary
an apology
Clinton,
to David
Donald
Sommitz.
No.
And any comments made
Mark
to Pusch
Driscoll
Ridge.
comes up.
You need to put that up front. David,
Eric,
talking about
for chairman of the board, is all I have to say. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the podcast.
Continue the conversation.
What conversation?
Well, the fact that you can't really form any good credit without a credit card.
So what's happening here? We haven't even started, and Eric Seepin has dared to. He's going to take a stand against Dave Ramsey himself.
Oh yeah, not a fan.
Not a fan. Mm-hmm. Why? What's up?
Well, because I think he's an extremist when it comes to financial things. Yeah.
Okay. Explain.
Well, we were just talking about it. He's against credit cards.
And that's extremist?
Well, okay, you go rent a car. There's two things when you use a credit card that happen. When you go get in an accident, if you use your debit card or you pay for it out of cash, you don't have the same coverage because when you use the credit card, most credit cards will assist you with the coverage of that accident along with your car insurance.
Yeah, so I just had a car accident. And I did use a credit card that we hadn't closed, though we didn't have any balance on it. So I was a little disobedient to Dave.
Oh, so you are a fan of Dave, but you're disobedient to Dave. So you're like a wayward disciple.
Okay. I don't know if I would call myself a disciple of Dave. I've
used his first name.
Well, that's just who he is. He's Dave. And he calls me Andy, and so that's how it works.
Oh, that's good.
But here's the thing. So I've just kind of taken whatever financial class or was going on in whatever church I was in, because I'm not just by nature, nor was I trained as a child to be great with money.
Right.
So when I went to one church, I did Crown Financial, and just whatever they said to do, I was like, I'm going to do that instead of what I used to do, because that's going to be better, and it was helpful. And then we've got people in our circles now who are Dave Ramsey fans, so I've been like, all right, yeah, getting out of debt sounds good. And so getting rid of credit card debt, great. But the one thing we did bump into was the rental car situation when I got in a wreck. We could have used a debit card, but that would have grossly impacted my bank account, so I disobeyed Dave.
You disobeyed Dave.
I disobeyed Dave, and then we got reimbursed, and the credit cards paid off. And so I don't, But I think what Dave Ramsey's saying is it's risky, especially if you don't have good habits, to have that credit card.
And I
available.
agree with that.
Yeah. See, you don't.
But
hate
I
it as much
do.
as you-
No, but I think you have to establish some form of credit.
No.
And it's
sure.
difficult to rent an apartment without some established credit.
Right.
Things like that.
Yeah.
But you have to figure out how to establish some credit.
Yeah. Yeah. And there are ways outside of a card, but that's the expectation. Right.
Well, yes, credit cards are dangerous. You should not have them. I agree.
Yeah.
You should have one with I think you should have one with like $2,000 or $3,000 limit on it.
Yeah. Well, and this all came up because before the mic got turned on, we were talking about, do I use the church credit card to pay the intern? And I said, we don't have a church credit card. And you expressed great shock.
Yes.
For you, for Eric, it was a great shock, which
Yes.
meant you going, really?
Really, you don't have a credit card. There's maybe a level of contempt even to that. But we should say this is Faith Over Breakfast, and I'm Eric, and that's Andy, and we have a guest, a surprise guest.
Yeah.
Who's actually
well,
here?
not to me.
I hear to talk about marriage.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Yep.
because that was our subject today. We even previewed it
suggest-
last week.
I suggested a different topic, and then Eric reminded me that we already had one.
Marriage.
Marriage.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we brought in an expert on marriage.
Yep.
His name's Matthew Weiss.
I'm 21.
21.
Happily married for negative 3 years.
Got a girlfriend.
Yeah, I do.
Wow. You have a girlfriend.
I do.
How long have you been dating?
Not too long.
What are we talking? Plus or minus months?
We're talking less than a year for sure.
Okay.
And
Now, how
probably
long
like-
has she been your official girlfriend?
Oh, we're talking
official.
We're
Facebook
talking.
official?
Oh, we don't do that.
Okay.
But like months.
Months.
Yeah, it's recent.
When I was when I passed through L.A., was she your girlfriend? Ambiguous.
No,
No,
No.
not your girlfriend.
Yeah,
And that's
so-
what I gathered. Was this
Yeah.
was a date?
this was a date when you passed through LA.
Yeah. So I went on a date with Matt and his non-girlfriend.
Yeah,
Cool.
Yeah.
And what is your non-girlfriend's name?
Maria.
Maria. Ooh. And it has a little Maria.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah.
You
It's
got
not
it.
Maria.
Yeah.
No, we're not gringos over here.
You
but
are.
I am. And she's actually white too. So
Oh, gotcha. All right.
take it as you like.
Yeah. All right. So, maybe we should talk about the other subject that you brought up was something about Christian colleges and
Yeah,
going
it doesn't
to college.
matter.
A
Whatever.
hotbed issue.
Yeah.
Well, Christian college, let's talk about it. Should you, shouldn't you go?
Well, Matt goes to Pepperdine, so you should not go.
Yeah. Moral of the story.
Yeah.
No.
Well, Pepperdine is sort of a unique college because it's like when people hear it, they think, oh, well, you go to a Catholic college.
But it's Church of Christ.
But it's Church of Christ. Yes. So it's-
USD is the Catholic one.
Yeah.
Down the street.
Mm-hmm.
A couple hours.
So the Church of Christ, for those of you who are intrigued, if you were to drive around Tucson, look for the Churches of Christ, you'd see very small,
Sparse.
little sparse, very small churches. They're known for not for no instruments.
Yes.
Acapella.
A cappella. And so this is not who you expect to have a seaside, beautiful, incredible college in the Los Angeles area.
Now we're kind of the crazy liberal Church of Christ school out of
Uh-huh.
all the ones in the nation.
So do you play instruments?
Yeah, there's
Okay, so
like,
that's sort of the liberal part of it.
I mean, we have everything a normal college does. There's
Yeah.
Greek life. There's like dorm life. You don't have to. I don't know. There's all sorts of stuff.
All kinds of sin.
All kinds of sin. It's
All kinds of sin.
yeah, yeah. Just you name it.
Is that like the line for Christian colleges? Come.
All kinds of
There's
sin.
all kinds of sin.
But I mean, it's just a lot more relaxed compared to some of the other
Sure.
Church of Christ schools. Like hearing about some ones in Texas.
Oh, yeah.
You can't be in the opposite gender's dorm
Okay.
ever.
Ever?
Isn't that the case at U of A?
No, I'm pretty sure that's not the case. In fact, they don't even know what gender's in the dorms.
They-
They're just-
The dorms are now gender neutral.
yeah.
They're
Yeah, well, that'll be interesting. That's not the case. Well, why not?
Right.
Why do we still, even at the University of Arizona, feel like there does need to be some recognition of gender?
It's a big topic.
It's a big. Let's
It's a
not.
big
Let's not do that.
topic.
Let's not do that.
So why did you go to Christian college? What was the motivation to do that?
It was
Feels
more,
almost like Brian's here. I should say.
Who's Brian?
Well, Brian is our previous host. Every
About
time we
your
went to
age.
say something,
Cool.
the train
would go by.
go by.
Oh, nice.
It's kind of happening to you right now. It's weird.
I love that.
It's like Brian is here in you, sort of.
Now that you mention it, I kind of feel like this Brian.
You do feel like a Brian.
Yeah, I think my name should be changed to Brian.
I think. Should we just call him Brian for the rest of it?
No,
No.
but I've forgotten his name already.
It's Matt.
It's Matt.
Matthew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Sorry.
We should say that we're at the top of Epic still.
We're at the top of EXO.
No, oh right, we're at EXO. I want EXO to be Epic. But
Epic.
It is Epic. but
It
it's
is
not-
Epic.
it's
The
not
Epic Cafe here in Tucson, for those of you listening in Japan, is it's a whole different ballgame.
It is. It's kind of turned into a biker coffee shop.
It's a biker
now,
coffee shop,
but
yeah.
It used to be sort of a
I-
hippie coffee shop.
Yeah, if
when
you
I
wanted
was-
quiche that was 8 inches thick, you went there.
Yeah.
And it's on 4th Ave and University.
Oh,
But yeah, it's kind of become a biker spot. Maybe since Safe House, isn't the Safe House anymore.
Yeah, not so safe.
It's not as safe, and they have a drink called breast milk there now at
Whoa.
the Safe House, or what was the Safe House, which was our local biker
Is it
coffee
actual
spot.
breast milk?
Oh, well, I don't know. I'm gonna go try it, man.
I hope not.
It's on the menu. I went there with our other intern at church, and we walked up to the front, and he said, "Oh, I'll take a breast milk, please." I thought, this is interesting. This is a weird moment.
It's a
Yeah.
fusion between horchata and breast milk.
Yeah.
It's like a hybrid.
Okay.
There's a guy online that's made a breast milk latte. It's a YouTube video about it, of course.
This is disturbing. Okay, so we're at the top of EXO. You're eating. He's drinking.
Yeah,
Some,
you got a
nitro.
kimchi egg
I
sandwich.
mean, it's just normal cold brew.
Oh, just normal
Yeah.
cold brew.
You got a cortado and a tea. Interesting combo. You're kind of taking alternate sips.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very pastoral.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So here we are. Why did you go to Christian college?
I think a lot of it has to do with growing up going to Christian high school. And it was small in high school, and I didn't want it to go from small to massive. And Pepperdine is still so much bigger than my high school, but I don't know how I would have done at a school like U of A. It's huge. I ended up only applying to 3 schools: Pepperdine, Seattle Pacific, and U of A. And I kind of knew I didn't want to go to U of A, and just too close to home. And ended up at Pepperdine. I wanted to study abroad. My mom went to Pepperdine.
Okay.
We got family connections there, so it was a good place to be.
Did you get kind of any legacy scholarships because of that?
Yeah,
Sweet.
Rad.
I really love
sure.
the
radical.
SPU campus, the Seattle Pacific.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
it is beautiful.
Yeah, I love it.
You love Seattle.
But when I go on vacation, we go to that campus and wander around and go into their church building. And
You go fantasize about going to college in Seattle.
I actually had some just deep spiritual experiences on that campus.
Really?
Yeah.
And can you share those? Too deep?
Saw the burning bush. No, that's when I went. That's actually where I met Mark Driscoll.
That is the burning bush.
It is the burning bush. I met the
He
bush.
is the burning bush.
That was when I went to that conference in '99. So yeah.
Wow. And
That's when I decided to plant church. There's a lot of big decisions.
you
happening
started Mars Hill 2.0 in Tucson, Arizona.
there. Yeah, some people would argue that.
Really?
We're mega satellite
Huge.
campuses everywhere. We're probably
Your
the only,
alternate- your
we're probably the
alternate-
only church in the United States who still plays most of their music.
Yes. I don't know if you do or not. I can't prove that because I don't know if I've ever heard any of it there. but you say you do. So I'll choose to believe you. You're a believable guy.
You probably don't even know that they're playing Mars Hill music.
That's probably what it
So
is.
that's probably better.
I mean, the song up on the screen says written by Eric Siepen, and I didn't know you wrote music for Mars Hill.
I do write music for Mars Hill.
I had no idea. And then, and you have like alternate screen names, in which you bully people, just kind of like Mark, and you yell at them about being a man.
Yeah,
right?
I was in on all of those.
You were
so
in
when
those. Were you really, Nick?
Yeah. So when he had all of the
the William Wallace screen
the William
name?
Wallace stuff, like I was in those conversations, so then when he got
did you know
caught,
it was him?
Not at first. People did not know it was him.
Yeah,
they figured it out.
Yeah,
but when that all came out, just a couple of years ago, they archived the website.
Yeah.
So I went back through, and luckily, I was not in any of the strings that was in.
You heard it here on Faith Over Breakfast. This is huge. This is going to blow up our podcast. Eric was there in the chat room.
I actually had a talk with Mark Driscoll online. Wrote him and said, "Hey, I've been praying. This is not good where you're going."
Wow.
And he told me it's fine. You don't need to
shut the blank up.
Basically, says none of my business.
Wow.
That's aggressive.
Eric Siepen had an altercation, an online altercation with Mark Driscoll,
and it wasn't on there. So that string, unfortunately, was not on there. So
nobody can see it.
Yeah.
So
there's no real proof of it.
Yeah.
Which
is sad to take your word for that,
because they only have archived, or whoever archived. I couldn't find any of the other archives. Has the William Wallace one, which I just kind of followed. I didn't add my 2 cents to that particular.
Wow.
But I laughed at it because it was hilarious.
Wow. Were you involved in the Russia collusion with Donald Trump?
Well, Putin says that there's nothing going on, so I'm sure there's
But what did you hear in the string of emails? And what kind of light can you shed on the Hillary Clinton emails?
Yeah, I think there's a big conspiracy.
But what did you hear Trump, in that email
Pusch,
thread?
And the ghost of Reagan are all working to destroy us. That's my theory now.
Was Mark Driscoll involved in any of that?
He's the chairman of the board.
Is he? Okay.
It's bad. Everything's bad. I don't know.
And
that's a recipe for greatness.
Yeah. I'm just trying to make this podcast go big. I'm just mentioning we can tag all these topics, Hillary Clinton emails.
Yeah, you should in your little picture. In fact, why aren't you taking pictures?
I don't know. Where's my phone? Yeah.
So anyway, you went because how big was your high school?
Graduating class was close to 70, I want to say.
Okay, so it was a sizable Christian college or high school.
Yeah, it was okay.
Did you play sports?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what did you play?
Football.
Wow, right. So they had a football program
at high school.
At high school, yeah.
Not at
yeah, no, but that's kind of rare. Like a lot of Christian high schools have like soccer, basketball, but they don't often have a football program.
Right. But we did.
So what position did you play?
Running back and outside linebacker.
Do you miss it?
I definitely do miss it. But it's too bad Pepperdine doesn't have a team. But I think it's pretty intentional with Pepperdine not having a football team.
Yeah.
The city of Malibu really doesn't want the surf culture to change.
Right.
Which is that's what they care about the most. So it's kind of interesting. Andy's just
this isn't distracting at all. Keep talking.
Snapping.
Don't worry about me.
Great pictures.
Here's the trouble about having an Instagram feed of this moment is every single time we sit here with this microphone, it's just the same photo.
It's just the same photo.
Anyway.
Okay.
But so you enjoy football enough that you would have liked to have played if there was been an opportunity.
Yeah. I think that would be cool. But I'm glad to have finished it out in high school.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. So what do you do? What's your major?
Sports medicine is my major.
Okay, so athletics is a big thing in your life.
Right. the general health, fitness, exercise, anatomy-based science is what I'm into.
So what do you want to do with that when you're done?
It's such a great question. I have no answer.
All right. So you don't have any you're not like, oh man, I really want to get into like college, athletics or.
I went in pre-med, so I was planning on going to medical school. Then I took my first chemistry class. I was terrible at it. I was like, this isn't for me.
Okay.
Dropped pre-med, and now I'm just like normal sports medicine, and I love it.
Okay.
And it's great, but I can't see myself doing anything with that in the foreseeable future, unless it's some kind of like strength and conditioning coaching.
Okay.
That's about the only thing, or maybe teaching anatomy at the high school level. Or, and now some high schools are having sports medicine programs that students can start in, which is pretty cool. But that's about all I can see myself doing in that field as of now.
So what's your experience been at a Christian college that maybe is different than your Christian high school experience?
So the people at Pepperdine, there's plenty of people that have no clue what Christianity looks like and didn't grow up Christian, and it's just another college to them that has a beautiful view and is in a great part of the world. And others are there super intentionally and are like doing the best they can to become the people they want to and growing in their faith, which is super cool to see. And so it's been such a blessing to be there. I've been shaped a lot by my friends and the people that I look up to there. They're super great role models and great pictures of what grace and mercy and redemption and restoration look like, because I can see like who they were in high school once I get to know them enough and see them like as they are now and see the power of like God in their life. And so they're like pushing me to become better, and it's just this mutual thing where everyone has this desire to grow. I think Pepperdine does a especially good job of that, at encouraging people to like never settle with where they are, and always like encourage one another to like move forward. So that's and it's like almost to a point where it's bad. People are like over busy and over committed because it's so community based,
right?
And people are always like doing things for one another, and it's like really, it's shockingly servant hearted and like humble oriented, humility oriented. But I think it's super rare. It's hard to explain. Just like if I wasn't there, I wouldn't grasp exactly how much community is stressed there.
Yeah.
Amongst the student body. But yeah, it's been super big blessing.
It's cool.
Eric's listening to all this and saying in his mind, how do I express my skepticism toward this type of school after hearing such nice things from this young gentleman?
I
don't know.
You can do it. Bring it on.
It's my guess.
I think it's smart Andy he's been waiting to have somebody.
I've just been staging really great pictures that aren't really going to be that great.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, like so, I think that's cool. Like I'm curious. I've always been curious as to why somebody who isn't at least somewhat religious decides to go to a Christian school. Like what their mindset is. And I understand that the beauty of the campus, the availability to like the culture around it, but you know that you're going to be bombarded by religious things.
So you would think that, right? Right. But I've talked to plenty of people, especially foreign exchange students, that are just like have the money to spend there, and they come. They have no idea that it's Christian. They have no idea that they have to take all these like religion classes in order just to graduate with a basic degree. they don't know that it's small. They've never been on the campus. They haven't researched it. They just know that it's in Malibu. So like
That's enough for them.
there are a number of people.
So they don't really. They're not like going through much of a decision process. They have the money. It's in Malibu.
Yeah,
they're going.
And I mean, it's a top 50 university in the country. So
Right, yeah.
you're getting a good degree. But yeah, that's a lot of it.
Interesting.
So like in comparison to the Pepperdine that I think it's talked about in the world more, the Catholic Pepperdine down the street, like education wise, is there a comparison, or are they like
SDU, you mean, in Pepperdine?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what University of San Diego's education looks like.
Okay.
But I think that we are ranked higher. I don't know how reliable that is or how true it is, but to say your top 50 school is pretty cool nowadays.
Yeah, it is very cool.
And so, yeah, I'm not sure actually what USD's is.
Is U of A in the top 50?
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
I don't know anything.
Definitely not.
I don't know anything about anything.
Yeah, a few of their colleges are ranked in the top 50.
Yeah, like
probably in the
Eller's
the
high.
engineering is high.
Yeah. But as a whole, the university is not.
Is they in the top 100?
No.
Top
I'm not
200?
sure. I'm not sure.
I think they're probably in the top 200.
Wow.
Probably. That sounds right.
Yeah. I mean, because how many NCAA schools
Aren't in the top,
ranking?
yeah.
300 and something.
Right. Wow.
I mean, I don't know how many. Yeah.
So you've had the Christian school experience now, essentially.
Almost my whole
all the
life.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you weren't homeschooled
No, I went to Sam Hughes Elementary.
here?
Yeah, kindergarten through second grade.
Okay.
And that's public grade school.
Yeah,
Yep.
Good one.
pretty standard.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
And then Cornerstone?
Yeah, then Cornerstone.
Wow. And then
Now
Pusch
known
Ridge.
as the Pusch Ridge Christian Academy
so you went-
Grammar School.
So you
Yeah.
went to
They don't
Pusch
teach
Ridge.
math there. Did you know that? Just grammar.
Really? They might as well, because the math. I'm not going to say that on there.
Math and sciences may not be as strong as some of the
we'll
other
put it-
departments.
We'll put it in the
So would you say
positive light.
Pusch Ridge is science?
No.
No.
I can write a solid essay, but I can't do chemistry. And I am not super great at math.
Huh.
Is that just you or everybody that comes out of Pusch Ridge?
I think it's the majority.
Yeah.
I think our English and history programs are really directed, and
Yeah.
they know what they're doing. Math is kind of for those people that skipped a grade of math in elementary school and have just always been super good.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of live up to that.
Yeah.
But for everyone
I've heard
else,
of those
you're
people.
just kind of chilling,
Yeah.
like in whatever you're supposed to be,
Yeah.
and then you graduate. Maybe you've made it to calculus, maybe you haven't,
Yeah.
and that's kind of the end of your math. But
Wow.
everyone
Can write a good
can
essay.
write a good essay and
Wow.
Probably
can
public speaking.
a little
Yeah.
bit better than the average high schooler.
Probably better in, say, like a debate.
Now who's the headmaster at Pusch Ridge now?
Alan Cooney.
Cooney, and Cooney's daughter has just taken over, I think, the chemistry.
Really?
Yeah, and she
Wow.
came from what is the big school here? Basis.
Oh, that's cool.
So she'll bring.
It's going to be the
she's going to bring chemistry up
the
a notch.
Cooney.
I hope so.
The Cooney School of Chemistry.
Yeah.
Yes, she's getting married this.
Whoa.
To somebody you know.
Yeah, somebody in my church.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Are you marrying them?
Somebody that
No, he's
is
married.
marrying one of your congregants?
Yeah,
No, I'm just kidding.
that legit. That's like so legit. Like, I mean, come on, we're
so
talking
wait.
Christian royalty.
Are
And
you
they're avid
are you going to be on
listeners
the
of this
board?
show, just by the way,
Are you going to be on the board of Pusch Ridge Christian Academy?
David Sommitz is who she's marrying. Is listens to this avidly.
Hi, David.
Hi, David. So we're not going to throw you under the
But
bus
are you?
anymore.
But are you
I'm
going
not
to be
gonna
on the
do
board of Pusch Ridge Christian Academy?
No.
It sounds like you're
I think
taking
you.
leaps
I think
and bounds.
You're getting real close. I think you should. Brian's making.
You
he
guys are
agrees
going to
with
be
me.
in so much trouble.
If you're on the board, we're going to be in trouble. Is this like? Is this what happens when you get that kind of power? You start threatening?
Whoa.
Where are we going with this?
I don't know.
You're getting me in trouble, not I getting you in trouble.
Brian's telling us to chill out. He's telling me to. He's like, Andy, look, we FaceTimed a couple times. You're getting in trouble.
Yeah.
Brian's been in time. Have you talked to Brian?
No.
Oh, no. You should talk to Brian. He's probably listening too.
Hey, Brian, I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
It's good to hear you.
Brian, give me a call. Sorry, I haven't called you this week.
Yeah, and David, nice to hear you. Yeah, I'll talk to you later.
David, let's talk about that board position later. Eric's.
I'm never going to hear the end of this. Thanks, guys. Moving on. So
Okay,
Pusch Ridge. Yeah, you went to Pusch Ridge. You graduated near. Yeah. So all this time,
Yeah, I've been in the bubble.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't call Pepperdine a bubble, just because, like, I would say the majority actually, I don't know. The majority is probably not. They probably identify as a Christian, but they're probably not, like, practicing it.
Right.
So
just like, are you a senior now?
yeah, I'm going to be a senior.
So you graduated from high school
2015.
2015. Did you play baseball at Pusch Ridge?
No. I've never played baseball in my life, actually.
You kind of look like a baseball player.
kinda do.
You got the
wearing
Yankee
Yankees
hat.
hat.
Well, you kind of
Even
have
just
the
your
body.
build, though.
Yeah,
You could be an
have
infielder.
You kind of have that
Or a catcher.
build.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe it's because of the football. Those guys, the catcher and the outfield, are a little bit more bulkier than the.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, marriage.
we're still talking about a Christian college.
Okay.
This is fascinating to me.
Do you have to, like, grill me about this? I'm sensing some skepticism.
No, so Eric and I have talked about education before.
Well, I don't
Yeah.
believe in Christian college, and that's
Yeah.
why he's.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm like, so
So-
Eric's just sitting here, as a good pastor would.
Yeah.
And he's listening to you, just going, wow, yeah, oh.
No. Yeah, so that's
And-
a super good point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like how much money have you had to spend to go to Christian college?
That's a great question. And I'm blessed in that regard that, like, I personally don't have to worry about that. So that's been a super big blessing.
Yeah, that's a big blessing.
And I've got good scholarship there. But I would, if Pepperdine didn't exist, or Pepperdine was just a public college, then I think I would have found the same group of people
Sure.
that I have now.
Yeah.
And they would have been just as like integral in helping me become the person I am today. But the professors that I've had have been so big in my life
Yes.
that I don't know if they would have been if it were a public school,
Right.
because they're able to counsel me and, like, so when I, like, at Pepperdine, the big thing to do is study abroad. You do that your sophomore year of high school or sophomore year of college. and so, like, while I was studying in Switzerland, my program directors would take me aside and we'd have talks about, like, hey, I think you should kind of think about a minor in religion or
Right.
vocational ministry, and they both have masters in some
Sure.
religious.
In Francis Schaeffer expertiseism.
Francis Schaeffer.
So you went to Labrie.
Labrie.
I went to Lausanne.
Oh, you went to Lausanne.
Sorry. Did you spend any time in the Labrie zone?
No.
No? I thought you did. For some reason. Never mind. That was actually, I was talking to somebody else. Never mind.
His interns, they just all merged into one.
Yeah.
All the really smart interns that spend time overseas at cool Christian places, I just can't keep track.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Brian has been here a lot.
Brian has been bombarding this podcast. Anyway.
But yeah. So I don't know if I would have gotten that where at a public school,
Sure.
where they're, like, giving me wisdom and advice on what to do vocationally and
Sure.
like how to pray about that. And my my exercise physiology professor wouldn't like take me into his office and pray with me.
Yeah, no, there's some different things going on there.
And like I wouldn't have a spiritual mentor whose job it is to do that at the school. And the campus like church service that we have on Thursday nights, that is student run. But at this point, like it's been formed enough and established enough that campus ministry has like taken that role of it.
Okay.
So it probably would happen if it was a public university because it started out student led.
Yeah.
But at this point, it's just like really well done, and because the campus ministry team leads it up, like they can ask students they can delegate, and so they can ask me to like lead a section or whatever. Would that I don't know if that would happen at a public university or not.
Certainly not that much marrying between the college and the ministries.
Right. Yeah.
Right, because in a secular campus, you're definitely in enemy territory in that context.
Right. Exactly.
And there's a hostility to
Yeah.
those things.
And every freshman dorm has a spiritual life advisor in it. So you have the basic like 2 resident advisors, RAs, but you also have a spiritual life advisor.
Right.
It's just they can't like, get you in trouble. They can't write you up, and they're just there to guide you as you go through your freshman year and have questions and doubts, and like, if you're hearing things for the first time. So that's like that wouldn't happen in a public university.
Yeah, no, I think I totally think the experience is awesome.
Yeah.
I think the problem is, education itself is too expensive in general.
Yeah.
Right? You're coming out $60,000-$70,000 in debt. And then I question, when you're a Christian and you go to these colleges, a limited amount of people can go, right? You have to have some form of means to make it most of the time. Even if you're taking out loans, you have to have the capacity sort of to navigate all of that.
Yeah.
So it's exclusive in one way.
It definitely is, and it's a bummer.
But then what happens with all that is if you're fortunate like you're not going to come out with heavy debt.
Right.
So that's not going to limit your capacity to be in ministry.
Right.
But often
people
heavy
come out with
debt.
this huge debt, and then the only kind of church they can pastor is one that pays a lot.
Right. Or any kind of
or
ministry.
whatever ministry
Yeah,
role.
it's very difficult.
Which is
an
so odd situation to be in.
Biblically, I have a hard time with that part of it. Like, I'm like, I think what's offered is amazing, and the nurturing. I think that some of those things, I would argue, can be offered to you by your church.
Yeah.
If you stay in state.
Yeah.
If you have a strong church who's going to offer a community that offers you that, you can get those things.
Right.
I'm not saying that's the only way you should do it. I just think it would be pretty cool if more churches were like that.
Yeah.
But
I think that if I wasn't blessed enough to have the opportunity to go there and be able to make it, I would definitely feel the same way. And probably in the future, when like if I have a family and my kids want to do what I did, and if I can't do that, I'll be like, I'd be upset by that. Because it shouldn't be exclusive. Like why do I get such a privilege to be at a place like that where my life is being shaped in ways that I didn't think was possible? And growing up in Christian high school, it's kind of dry. It's actually super dry at a lot of moments because everyone is there and they're not choosing to be there.
right.
For the majority, it's mostly their parents. And so people could care less. And everything that happens there is happening down the street at the public high school.
Right,
But there's
right.
just a tighter watch on it with the admin and the teachers, and they know what's going on more. But in terms of how much people are seeking to grow, I would say it's about the same as a public high school in a private school. But Pepperdine seems different than anything that I've experienced in the past. So.
Did you have any Christian school experience growing up? You did?
In college.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I went to Grand Canyon University for a year.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't what it is today, though.
No, it was pretty small, pretty community oriented. I mean, even when I went there, their education program was in the top 10 in the country.
Yeah.
Their nursing program was like top 25.
Yeah.
But I looked at 1 year of debt.
Yeah. And you said,
this is the only college debt I had, and it was from that year. And I was like, I can't do this. I can't do 4 years of this.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'll pay it off. And I was going to be a teacher, so I'm like, how are you supposed to pay off? In those days, you were looking at how am I supposed to pay off $25,000?
Yeah.
You know, now it's $60,000, $70,000.
Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah, my Christian school experience, as I've mentioned probably on here before, is middle school or grade school and middle school.
Where did you go? Here in town?
I went to Casas.
Oh, you went to
school.
Casas.
And then I went to public high school, which was, I loved it. It was, in my mind, I was one of those kids that didn't want to be in Christian school. And so, like, public high school was like, man, freedom. And so I kind of, like, just tried everything, well, sort of, not that bad, but, like,
I just tried it.
In my mind, it felt like I tried everything. Looking back, it's like, oh, people try a lot more than that.
There was a lot more.
There was a lot more options. And then, but then, interestingly, in public high school, I was like, okay, like, I'm seeing how all these people, like, what they get with their freedom, and, like, maybe I need to revisit that God stuff. And actually, like, I think within that period, like, where it wasn't all supported, interestingly enough, like, I kind of owned it.
Yeah.
And decided with a group of friends, actually, that it was cool how that came together. But yeah, but I think I've just observed through the years, even because you used to be in my middle school group, is how we got to know each other, and like, even within that group, there were students where I was like, man, it's really good they go to Christian school. Like that student, like, it's good they have that shelter, or that, like, in some cases it was like they just need more care, or in other cases it was like they need the structure or else they're going to go hog wild. Then there are other people who are like, man, I wish they were out of there. Like, I wish they could go and, like, not have this imposed upon them so they can freely pursue it. So I don't know, I feel like it just has so much to do with the student. Like, I think as a parent, you got to kind of get to know your kid and what they need.
Right. Yeah, you know, my issues, I mean, all my two kids have gone to public school all their life, but we've chosen particular public schools for different reasons. Sometimes extremely liberal leftist schools like City High, to more conservative charter schools like Presidio. But the thing that I have trouble with in the Christian community in schools is not necessarily Christian colleges and Christian high schools and homeschooling and all that. It's just that I'm like, if we continue to pull out Christian teachers out of the public school and Christian kids, it's not surprising to me that the schools get darker and darker because the Holy Spirit has been pulled out. Yeah, and that's right. And we don't see our schools as mission fields. And we're sending missionaries when we send our kids and when we send teachers in there. We need to support them the same way we do sending missionaries off to foreign lands. Because it's a rough place. Even in the best schools, it is dark. And so that's more I think like we said last week when I said the family was an idol. Right. I think this is part of that, is that we're looking for the best experience for our kids. Which is somewhat of a new thing. My parents were not looking for the best experience. They were looking for, they only had one school. It was either public or private school, which couldn't afford, because they had no such thing as vouchers and all this thing, tax things that you can do now. Or to just public school or high school down the street from your school, whatever district you're in. So,
that's a super good point. One of my professors overseas was he's talking about what his views are in private school and public school, and he said, if we want to, like, improve our child's education, then, like, let's improve the rest of the children's education too while we're at it. Like, if you want to keep him in private school, you're sheltering him and you're excluding everyone else from, like, getting what he's getting. So improve the public school system, and by doing that you'll improve your kids' education and everyone else's.
Well, I hate to tell you this because we haven't talked about marriage, but we've had a bit of a solid podcast here.
We have.
And so we're just going to have to tell people thanks for tuning in for this marriage podcast. Marriage Part B is next week. And meaning everything but saying the word marriage is next week.
All right.
But Matt, thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, thanks for hanging
Thanks
out.
for
Wallace.
having me.
Yeah, you got it.
Appreciate it.
And yeah, we'll see you next week.
So I think you have to intro it. I introed this one.